This is my audience. Ooh. Do you know there's an average of 1.3 million new cases of skin cancer each year due to summertime exposure? I'm Brian Boyk, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit today and demonstrate some ways on how you can stay safe this summer. Having encountered and seen many of these problems and injuries, I have researched some simple ways on how we can all do our part to have fun and stay safe this summer. I will cover some topics regarding some heat-related injuries, recreational safety, hydration practices, and identifying and knowing troubles associated with insects. When it comes to sunblock and being out in the intense summer heat, it's best to try and use 15 SPF to 30 SPF sunblock. 1 ounce every hour and a half to 2 hours is probably a good rule of thumb. Also, be cautious between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. and use caution during this time and hydrate regularly. If sunburns start to blister and develop a bad rash, it is critical to seek medical attention. There are many different types of heat-related injuries: rashes, cramps, exhaustion, and heat stroke. These all stem from lack of water, lack of salt, and when the body overheats, it is always critical to cool down, get the body in a shaded place, and if they excel, always seek medical attention. Including to, but not limited to, swimming, biking, basketball, baseball, volleyball, and golf. All of these recreational activities are susceptible to inevitable injury. It is always critical to wear proper clothing and safety equipment to avoid these injuries, and in the event of an injury, always use the acronym RICE: rest, ice, compress, or elevate. As an outdoorsman and a boater, I would like to be the first to say it is easy to overlook some of these safety precautions. I'm going to start with some statistics. In recent years, it has been reported nearly 10 water-related deaths per day on average, and an additional 300 annually from boating accidents. Over 80% of these victims were not wearing their life jackets. Therefore, it is always critical to wear your personal flotation device. Make sure it is properly attached when you're boating or swimming in unfamiliar waters. Also, in fishing and hunting, be sure to understand all rules and regulations and know your equipment. Always use the buddy system when hiking and fishing as well. Regarding hydration, it's easy to say we should all avoid pop, water, salty drinks, sweet drinks, carbonation, and alcohol, and stick to Powerade and Gatorade, which are good supplements but not substitutes to one's summer hydration plan. Lyme disease, West Nile virus are among many of the commonly transmitted diseases by insects. Carried by ticks that are common in the Midwest region, Lyme disease causes a flu-like symptoms which are in need of immediate medical attention. The Lyme disease rash can look something like this with some sort of bullseye. Hard to see, but you can also notice how there's a big red inner circle and one large outer circle. It's a very easy way to tell Lyme disease. West Nile virus is transmitted to humans by mosquitoes. Most of the infected will not experience symptoms. 1 in 5 that do will experience fever-like symptoms, and 1% of all infected will experience fatal neurological illness. So when outside, be sure to stay clear of common insect breeding grounds, areas anywhere swamp-like, garbage disposal areas, nests, and flowering plants. And also be sure to apply DEET type insect repellent when outside. Hopefully you've all enjoyed my demonstration on summer safety and feel a little bit enlightened on some of the practices I've provided you. Whether it is the summer heat, proper hydration, boating safety, or insect awareness, I hope you can now have a safe and happy summer. If there are no questions, I would like to thank you all for your time and thank you for listening.
Very good.